What is happening, everybody? This is Anthony bringing you the play-by-play on a PSA submission. So right now, PSA has got anything from 89 and older, doing a $15 promo. You just got to send in 10 cards. We got a bunch more than that we've been holding on. So we're gonna go through each one. We're gonna talk about what we think the grade is. And definitely want to hear from you what you think the grade is. Once we get everything back, we'll do a follow-up, kind of compare how we did. Some of this for us is definitely investing on just our knowledge and what PSA will grade, and how to view cards and what we think versus what they ended up giving us. So we'll go through each one. Got a couple surprises, I think, at the end, based on what you'll see. You won't expect the last few. So yeah, let's do it. First one, Billy Martin, 57 tops. All right, strong card here. Good centering, probably 70-30, top to bottom and left to right. All right, top corners are pretty sharp. The top right, I'm unsure if they'll kind of think that's a ding. I think they will, right? And then the bottom right and bottom left both look like they were ding. So with that being the case, we got it as a 6-7, most likely 6. Feel pretty confident in 6. I'd be super happy with a 7. So let me know what you think. Now, one thing for our sets, we try to be at a 7 or higher, but once we hit 57, 56, 6s will do. So we're okay there, keeping that for the set. Next card is a Duke Snider. So this is 59 tops now. Again, strong Duke Snider. Really centered left to right. Maybe 60-40 there. Top to bottom, a little bit worse. Again, 70-30, maybe 80-20. So this one's risky to be a 7. We think it's a 6 to 7, right? The corners are all looking pretty strong. Only need 2 or less ding corners. So we feel pretty good there. Now, a little tough to see. You see a little bit there, a little that surface. That one makes me nervous. I don't know what they're going to do about that surface. You kind of see it right here, right? So this is one where, not a huge financial gain, right? Again, we'd rather be a 7 or higher. You see the back too has some, some markings there, right? A little bit brown, not as clean as you'd like it. So, but this is one where we'll learn. Hopefully that didn't hurt it. But this is one where we'll learn kind of what PSA does for those type of surface issues. All right. So strong card again, 6 to 7. We'll see. Let us know what you think. We got a bunch of 59s here. Stay with 59 and go with the Roger Maris. Now, this Maris here is the white back variation, right? If you're familiar with the 59 set, the entire, I believe, third series from about 198 to 286. They have all white backs and gray backs. So the gray backs are a little tougher, generally a little more value. So this one not as tough as the gray, but overall strong card, right? A little touch corner there on the top left, but the rest look pretty good. And again, we feel like this could be a 6-7. Would be really happy with that. It's a strong Maris to have in the set. Obviously, second year card for Maris. All right, now here we got Don Larson, again, 59 tops. Now this Larson, in the same series as the Maris, but you see the gray back here, right? So this one a little bit, again, a little bit tougher to find. Now overall, the Larson is, again, pretty strong. I mean, the centering is where it's a little bit risky. You do have one touch corner in the top left, but the others look really good to me. So the only risk I see is that, is the centering good enough? So we have it as a 7-8, most likely a 7, right? 8 would be tough. 8 allows one corner. The centering could be an issue, but we'll have to see how it goes. again, learning here from PSA. Would be happy with a 7 with this set. All right, next again, this 59 tops also. Fence Buster card with Aaron. Anything with Aaron, obviously you're going to feel pretty good about it. Getting it graded. Again, we're at a 6-7 here, mainly due to centering, right? I mean, you do got a touch corner, but most of the other corners are looking really good, right? I mean, I don't see anything on the other corners. Again, the gray back here, so it'd be really nice to have a 7 in this. I think the risk or issue would be the centering, right? I think that'd be pretty aggressive to be a 7, but so you're more likely 6, but we think that 6 to 7 range. All right, now this card here I'm super excited about, but also nervous at the same time. So this is 59 George Sparky Anderson. Now this is his rookie. I'm just going to hold it right there for a second. You see the centering. I mean, that falls within PSA 10 centering. So no issues there at all. All right, corners. I mean, I just don't see anything. Right? I just don't see anything. You know, super strong on the corners. Maybe a light touch there on the bottom right. But the card's amazing. Now, here's where I'm nervous. I'll give you a second, see if you notice it. All right, but in the bottom of the card, you see that little black spot. I do not know if that's ink. I don't know what that is. All right, now I've seen where PSA, you know, they'll still give a very high grade because it's on the back. It's very not visible, right? Very small at the bottom of the back. So really interested to see what happens here. Again, excited and nervous on this one. You know, what a super sharp Sparky. You know, hopefully this one will be a nice hit for us. We got it as an 8 to 9. And I think if the spot isn't there, I'd be very confident in that. So we'll see what PSA comes back with. Let me know what you think. If you've had stains like that, you know, again, I really don't know. I mean, it looks like a pen got indented into it, maybe. But super hard to say, you know. So let me know what you think on the Sparky. All right, now most of the cards at this point, pretty much all of them, are really for our keeper sets, just to kind of have nice graded cards in our keepers. This one here, now we'll definitely keep this card if it doesn't grade super high, but we have a few in here that we're looking at as far as trying to flip if it grades high enough. All right, we're not huge believers in having commons graded. I mean, it's nice. All right, but it doesn't add a ton to the set unless you're trying to be a full PSA set. So for us, if this card comes back as a 9, you know, it's about a $350 card. You know, we're gonna take that. Right, we're gonna take that. We're gonna move that, and you know, we'll fill the set with a strong card. But you know, we're not gonna get an extra $300 on our set if this guy's in there. So the Pete Runnels, super strong, really centered. You know, I think it's more 60-40, so I don't think there's any chance of a 10 here. The only other real thing I see in that top left corner, you can kind of see it's not super sharp, right? So that could be an issue. But the other corners are really sharp. Now, looking at the back, similar to the Sparky. So we're going to learn a lot about the backs, you know, with potential ink, spots, whatever. So again, similar to Sparky, we got this as an 8 to 9. Very interested to see what PSA treats it. You know, either of those would be great. An 8 would be a strong card. We would keep that in the set. A 9, something we could flip, make some money, and do some other things with. All right, next we got Brooks Robinson. So this we view as a 6-7, right? Mostly because of that centering. It's borderline if that's going to be allowed for a 7. It does have, you know, you'll see the corner there, right? It does have that top right corner is dinged. But the other corners are super sharp, you know, so it's really the centering in that corner and, you know, what PSA wants to do with it. Back looks good. It has a tiny mark there. Again, not sure what that is. You know, again, you can see the corner from the back side, right? You see a little bit of the splotching. They'll be interested. interesting what they do there. All right, but overall strong card. Again, if I had to bet money, it'd be on the 6. Would be, you know, pleasantly surprised on the 7. All right, here's another, you know, potential flip play with the Lou Burdette. All right, so not something that, you know, really trying to keep in the set. Just like the Pete Runnels, though, we think it's an 8-9. I mean, super sharp on all the corners, right? No corner issues at all. The only thing I'm not sure is that top to bottom might be a problem for a 9. So, you know, we got his 8 to 9. We probably need a little luck for it to be a 9. But even at an 8, you know, we make money on that. You know, it's about a $50 card instead of a common. Right, back on this one's really clean. You know, and it's funny because I'm seeing more of the splotching through the video than actually looking at the card. So not sure how that's going to work with PSA. But again, we'll learn. And, you know, possible option to flip here on the Burdette. So here we got a Mantle. All right, so in the 59 set, they have a bunch of baseball thrills, Mantle. You know, I think they got Ernie Banks, right? A couple other guys. You know, I think Duke Snyder has some special cards. So, you know, it's a strong Mantle. I mean, very centered, right? Very centered. A tiny bit left to right, maybe it's off, but top to bottom looks great. Now, where I'm a little unsure, you see some of the ridging up top, right? You can see that. And then you see a corner there, that's super sharp on the corners, right? And then you're seeing some surface wear there. So, again, none of the corners are really obviously really bad, but also none of them are super sharp. So, you know, on this one, most likely a 6, right? We have it 6 to 7. I think the 7's aggressive as we're talking through it, but you know, that's what we got. We'll see how it comes back. Now, this card here, I was so pumped to get this card. Really strong Yankees team card here. So again, we're still in the 59 set, right? All the Yankees teams cards, as you go back in the 50s, 60s, if they're in really good condition, they get good money. So, you know, for this card here, we got it as a 7-8. I mean, the centering is super good. You know, not a 10 centering, right? Left to right a little bit there. Only really see one corner there that isn't, like if you look at the top right, that isn't really good. You know, we like the other corners, right? So we feel good there. One thing that makes me nervous on this guy, if you come here, you'll see a little bit of surface again. So I'm not really sure, even nervous that there's a slight indentation in there. You know, and that's something that, you know, kind of gives me pause to even sending it, right? If there's a little indentation, you know, PSA could give it a 4 if they view it as such. So, honestly, as we're talking through it here, I'm going to have to give this one thought. It's a really sharp card. It shows well. It's centered. If it comes back as a 4, I think it actually brings the value down. So we have it as a 7-8. An 8's a great hit at like 350. But this little indentation has got me a little nervous now. So let me know what you think. I mean, should I send this one? All right, a little bit risky there. All right, now we get into 60 tops. Got a few here. This is another play on potentially flipping a common. All right, so this Don Elston. I mean, I try to be really tough on our grades and our conditioning. I mean, this is the only one where I think it's a possible 10. This is the only one I got. I mean, the corners are awesome. The centering is awesome. I mean, there is nothing noticeable for me that I would say should take away from a 10. Right, if we look at the back, I mean, it's a super awesome card. So again, very, very interested to see what PSA does with this. I mean, there's just not a lot here that would have it not be a 10. Now, even at a 9, right? Just because, these vintage, a 9 is tough. I mean, there's just not a lot of them. Even at a 9, it's a couple $100, so it's a win. So 9 or 10 would be great. All right, same thing here, the Mike McCormick. Now, the McCormick is definitely more off-centered. So, only have it as an 8, 9. It looks worse on the centering, I believe, a lot of times because of this yellow kind of blends in. But based on my measuring, it's in the 8 to 9 range. So we'll see. More likely an 8 for sure. If they have that left to right centering is worse than I do. Right? But when I look at the corners here, I mean, really sharp. Right? No issues on any of the corners from what I'm seeing. Right? So a really nice card here. Also, the other big thing with this card is a high number. All right, so that's a big deal. Going to boost the value for us, especially if it grades well. All right, we got another high number, Gene Baker. Again, another common. This one's centered really nice. Now, doesn't really have any corner issues that I'm seeing. Maybe a light touch somewhere. Maybe the top right. Okay, but really nothing on the corners. Where I'm a little nervous on this card is you'll see the top. So little dings on that top border. Now, again, not sure what PSA will do there, how hard they'll grade that, because it's not super straight and there's little dings on the top. But yeah, I mean, really centered, really nice corners. Because of those dings, those make me more nervous. We went 7, 8 here, right? Again, some back stuff, always tough. Always tough. I mean, I don't know, how that's viewed, if that's seen as wax or what that is, right? It's kind of shiny. So we'll see what PSA says. Again, a 7 or 8 would be great. Would definitely be able to flip it on the 8. A 7 might flip it, but also might just keep it in the set. All right, now here we got the Mantle All-Star high number, super sharp. I mean, all the corners are super sharp. Right, the only issue with this guy is the centering. And you see it right to left, top to bottom a little bit, but right to left puts it in that 6 range. One thing I'm curious on is, would they go, 7 OC, 8 OC instead of a 6? All right, so we have it in the 5, 6 range. That's the expectation. It's, again, a little lower than we like. We'd like to be at a 7, but also like to have the mantles graded. I mean, it's just the card that matters. So, I already got the base card graded. Like to get this one graded. I mean, it's super sharp. So I'll be very interested to see if they come back with an OC or just keep it at like a 6. Next card here is super similar to the Mantle. So we got the Aaron All-Star high number. Now you do see a corner there, right? Which the Mantle, you don't really see any. But man, not much to say on this one. Pretty much the same card, tiny bit, some ridge in there, but pretty much the same card as the Mantle, right? Just OC, so we'll see what PSA does with it, right? But a strong card overall. All right, now here's another flip opportunity. This is 61 tops, the Lavagetto, right? And we got this at 8, 9. This card is really sharp. It's really good, really centered. I'm holding off on the 10 here. I just think these top corners, especially this one here, I mean, just fractionally rounded, right? So not the sharpest, right? But overall, I mean, really, really sharp. Definitely a flip play if we can get it. At a 9, at an 8, it's a good, it's a good card to have. Definitely won't lose money on it. Back is good, right? But 9 would be great. A couple of these a couple of these cards I've been going through, if we hit on a couple of 9s on these commons, you know, it's going to pay for the PSA fees, right? So that'd be great. That's something we try to do when we send in. All right, so another mantle. So this is a 61 World Series mantle. Again, really sharp, but obviously you see the centering. So very similar to the 60 mantle All-Star that I was showing you. A couple of corners here not as good, so not as sharp as the 60 mantle, right? But definitely a sharp card overall. Again, lower than we'd like to be. We have it at a 5.6. Generally try to be higher than that with the 7. But for mantle, if we feel good about it, we'll send it in. You know, I mean, he just brings the value. All right, another mantle here. So now it's a 63 tops. Really nice batting leaders. I mean, we got this one at a 7.8. You know, it's really strong, left to right, a little bit OC, top to bottom, a little bit OC, right? But overall, I mean, let's look at the corners. Super sharp. All right, super sharp for this mantle. Now back is really where I'm a little nervous. So it's got some staining. Again, you know, what's PSA gonna do on that? All right, it's got some staining here and here. So on the back, minor, but definitely, you know, definitely there, definitely noticeable. What does that do to the grade? You know, do they give it a staining grade? Right. Also got a tiny little dot. Not sure. I mean, to me, it looks like a print defect. You see that little dot there as well. So what's PSA going to do? Overall, super sharp card. Let me know what you think. I mean, help me out. I don't need to send stuff in that's going to grade poorly or be, you know, a 6 with a stain designation. Right? We don't want that. So let me know what you think on the 63 mantle leaders. All right, 65 Euchre. So it's a decent card, man. People, you know, I don't know if everyone really knows the value on Euchre. I mean, obviously, if you're doing the vintage, you're aware. But, you know, he definitely brings some value for you. Some concerns, you see the surface a little bit. So not sure how that's going to hurt me. But overall, it's a strong card. It's centered nicely. Right, top to bottom's off just a little bit, but definitely, you know, well centered. And then when we look at the corners, I mean, not razor sharp, but definitely good. Right, definitely good. You know, now this guy here is where I have concern. Right, because the way I view it, there's really this is the only corner that's really, you know, dinged. Right, but how bad do they view that? We have this card as a 6.7. Right, because a 7 does allow two corner touches. How are they going to view that though? Is that too big of a deal for them to give a 7 on? All right, back looks pretty clean on this one here. You see some of the print stains, but that's very common in this card. I don't think that'll do anything, you know, for this year's common. So that's the Euchre. Should be interesting to see what they do there. All right, another mantle. So this one is definitely one of the worst ones we're sending. Now, one of the reasons we're sending this, so we've done this before, and I think it's something that people should think about. All right, so we have this as a 5.6. Right, definitely a chance it's a 5. I mean, the corners are not great. You know, 1, 2. Let's see if I can get that one in the light there. That one's decent, but that one's definitely dinged pretty good. So you got 3 corners that are a little bit tough, right? Super slight, but a little bit of a diamond shape, it seems. You know, off center a little bit, top to bottom. So it could be 5, could be 6. Now, the reason why we're sending this, we have another one that actually my brother has, so he's going to send his. Right, and we suggest doing this. We've done this before. It's worked out well. If you have 2 cards that are the same and you think they're about the same grade, send them both. All right, and what'll happen is, you know, you get to keep the better one. So for us, this is a card for keeper sets. Right, send them both and keep the better one. And we did this before. worked out really well. We sent in 2 Bradshaw rookies. So the 71, Terry Bradshaw, and we thought both were potential 7/8s. One of them came back as minimum size required. So we got no grading there. The other one came back as a 7. So we kept the 7, unloaded the minimum size required, didn't need it. It worked out perfect. All right, so we would suggest that. That's something we're going to do on this mantle. Again, 5/6 for this mantle. Hoping for a 6. Not sure I would keep a 5. I think if we got 2 5s back for the 2 mantle 66s that we have, probably have to upgrade it. 5 would be too low. All right, this card, I love this card. I love variations. 66 has a ton of variations. Right, and this one I actually got from Greg Moore's cards. Now, we call him GM. So GM, they graded this guy as a near mint or better. All right, and their grading is very good. They grade every card they put out. And basically they're saying it's an 8 to 10. Now, I definitely don't think it's a 10. Knew that when I purchased it, just based on the centering, right? So left to right centering, top to bottom, they're off too much. Not going to happen. Right, but the corners are really nice. Right, you'll see that. Corners are strong. Right, but one thing that makes me a tiny bit nervous, you'll see over here. So a little bit of ridging there, something going on the side there. So I have it as a 7/8, even though GM had it as an 8 or better. But a 7 or an 8 would be great. I think I got this card maybe $20. 7's about 115, and an 8 is going to be in the 200 range. For those interested, the variation, if you kind of look over here, you'll see the trees are purple. So that's the variation. When the trees are purple over his shoulder, that's the variation. Much more rare than the regular card. You could get good money just for this raw, being that it's a variation and in really good shape. All right, getting down to the last few. Now, this card here, again, for those who collect vintage, right, this is one of many Lou Piniella rookies, right? I mean, he's got rookies going back to 64, I think. But this one's strong here, so we got it as a 7/8. Not a crazy return here, right? I mean, even an 8, probably around $80, $90, but it just looks really nice. You got really nice corners. Right, centering is good, not amazing. All right, so that's going to hurt it top to bottom and left to right, very similar. All right, but overall, super nice card. All right, corners are really good. Nothing sticks out there. Back is definitely clean. It does have, again, a little spot there. All right, so what does PSA do with that? We'll learn more. Right, but overall, a nice card. Again, we got it as a 7/8 on the Piniella and the Marv Stahl. I don't want to offend Marv. Now, we're going to get down to a couple that are a little surprising. So, here's an 82 Mattingly. Now, personally, I didn't know about this card. I bought a collection, found it in there. It's really nice. All right, so this is when he was with the Columbus Clippers, 82, you see it. Right, a lot of it's like one of the police cards, I believe. Right, giving you the crime tips, So definitely, a bunch of teams have done some stuff like this. But I mean, the corners are great. Right, the corners are great, no issues. All right, you'll see that. Top and bottom. There's no issues with this card. All right, now I don't have it as a 9/10, but I do have it as an 8/9. Now, I think the centering left to right is great. Tiny bit of diamond shaped. Okay, if you look at the top, you'll see it. Right, a little less white over here than there is in the other corner. So tiny bit diamond shaped, and then the print stain. All right, the print stain. So there are 0/10s of this card. My guess is that there's a lot of cards with this print stain. So I got it as an 8-9. We'll see. I mean, just an interesting card. Would love to get a 9. There's only about 40 of them. All right, so just kind of a cool card to have. So we want to get that graded. All right, now last two. Totally outside of what we've been doing. My partner and I, my brother, we collect Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden. So we're working on the PSA set registry. Here you have an 89 Fleer All-Star team. Darryl Strawberry. We have not sent anything in for them yet. All right, we've just been buying PSAs. These are risky. There's no question about it, right? If you don't get a 10 in this card, you're losing money. That's not even a conversation. But I mean, the card looks great. I'll show you the back in a second. That helps with the centering, to get a feel of the centering. Right, so I got two of these. This guy here, let me see the centering, right? If you look at the two boards, I mean, it's really strong. The only thing that worries me is the ridging on the bottom. You see it. So what do they do with that? Again, it's on the bottom, it's on the back. Sometimes they just deem that like a rough cut. What do they do? So we'll see. Don't have this card in the set registry, so I'm going to ship this one out along with the next one. So last one, Strawberry, we just talked about. Again, I have it as a 9-10. I mean, really super sharp. Again, the back will show you the centering. And I feel more confident in this one, right? Just looking at the bottom, no ridging. Right, the top has a tiny, tiny bit. It's a little hard to see. All right. But this one I feel more confident in as a possible 10. If I get 1-9, 1-10, that's a win. All right, so thanks everyone for joining. Again, please let me know what you think. I'm going to get these sent out soon, so add your comments. Definitely don't want to get beat on any of these. So if you think I'm crazy on something, let me know. Till next time.